WWE voted Promotion of the Year for the first time in 24 years. Plus, ex-WWE stars win major New Japan titles and scrapped Elimination Chamber plans have been revealed. It's all in the Cultaholic Wrestling news right now. Some exciting news today for WWE. Andrew Hodkinson has more.
Oh man, I haven't heard that voice in a long time.
It's deep cutting it.
So, in the Wrestling Observer Reader Awards, which, by the way, are chosen by readers and not by the Observer writers themselves, WWE has picked up the Promotion of the Year award. Now, this is the first time WWE have won this Reader Award since 2000, which is insane, ending AEW's 3 years on top.
Dave Meltzer wrote about this. Again, picked by the readers, not by Dave and co. But Meltzer writes, WWE's success with multiple stadium shows, creating major matches throughout the year, and pulling away from AEW after what at times was a very competitive race. It was the first time WWE had won this award since the Attitude Era. A combination of their turnaround and their struggles at the box office of AEW, New Japan, and Stardom have also helped it along. It's rare for us to talk about these reader awards here today, but I think it's important to today because it shows, in terms of readers of the Observer and people who are very close, so therefore if you're subscribed to the Observer, then you're watching wrestling very closely, one would think. But in terms of the hardcore fan base, there's been a major turnaround in WWE. If this is the first time in 24 years they have been voted the best promotion on the planet.
Yeah, I think it's hard to sort of deny their growth recently. Obviously, everything that has been happening behind the scenes with Vince and that, you know, him being removed from the product, or at least in some capacity, I feel like has helped WWE grow in such a way that it's undeniable. You see it on the TV product itself. Recently, we've seen it with even just like camera angles, them going over to different countries to do premium live events. It's been nothing but growth, and it's been really exciting as a wrestling fan. For when WWE was the main promotion for the most amount of years, and there were periods where we would watch it and go, wow, it's not the best. And to see it sort of turn around, and the roster that they've got at the moment as well, it keeps going from strength to strength. There might have been, I'm not sure if they would have got this if perhaps how WrestleMania might have gone if it was going to be The Rock versus Roman Reigns, you know what I mean? Maybe people would have backed off a little bit on that, but I think they've managed to turn things in a way that's really benefited them, and also in some sort of capacity listen to what fans also want in some way too.
I think what we've seen over the last couple of months creatively has been an example of them listening to what the fans want creatively.
Yes.
With the change of plans for Cody Rhodes. It's obvious we can't, you can't mention this sort of stuff without talking about the fact that obviously there are allegations over the former chairman of the board for TKO, the former head of WWE and Vince McMahon. And the Observer does point out that a lot of these votes may have come in, arguably could have come in before these allegations really came to light. But regardless, in terms of looking at the creative and the product itself, as Andrew said, massive growth. And it picked up a couple of other big reader awards as well. Again, chosen by the readers, not by the Observer. Nick Khan took Promoter of the Year, which is a title that Tony Khan has had since 2019. Paul Levesque, Triple H, taking Best Booker, which has been held by Tony Khan for the past several years as well. Dynamite did retain the title of Best Weekly TV Show for a 5th year. I believe Revolution has been voted one of the best shows of the year as well by fans. So AEW picking up a litany of other awards as well. Loads of nods for Will Ospreay too. But the WWE one, picking up Promotion of the Year, I think certainly shows that there is some movement, a changing in the mindset of a lot of wrestling fans, if that is the case. Over to a company that was Promoter of the Year for a good long while during the noughties and the tens, New Japan Pro Wrestling, where New Beginning took place in Sapporo. There's been a few title changes.
Yeah, 3 championships, in fact, have changed hands. So the first was El Desperado, who lost the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship to Show. The belt changing hands as a result of Desperado being unable to answer to the 20 count outside the ring thanks to a rear naked choke from Ren Narita.
You do forget that this is the belt that can change hands by countout.
I know, yeah.
Completely forgot. It's not the best of results, but it happened nonetheless. From here, 2 ex-WWE stars win their first titles since their respective departures from the company. Matt Riddle beat Tanahashi to become the New Japan Pro Wrestling World Television Champion after 8 minutes. His second match in New Japan, and they've given him a belt already.
Huge statement as well.
In the main event, Nick Nemeth topples David Finlay, and Nemeth becomes the IWGP Global Heavyweight Champion. Nemeth's going to be wrestling on day 2 of New Beginning, and he's going to be teaming with Tanahashi in a tag match. But again, big win for Nemeth.
And I feel like only going to go from strength to strength too. I feel like this whole... No, I mean, obviously within WWE, I feel like he was underutilized, especially towards the end. And now you can feel how sort of refreshing and how much of a passion he obviously has for wrestling, as a lot of wrestlers do, you know, even though they might be underutilized in certain companies. But this just feels like he's only just getting started with everything, with TNA and everything as well. He's just getting started with some good stuff, I feel like.
Only just begun, haven't we? WWE are in Australia for Elimination Chamber tomorrow. We know that Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes will be guests on the Grayson Waller Effect. And we heard last week, if you watched the news video with Sam and Fraser, you'll know that there were some plans in motion to take Cody out of the WrestleMania main event. That was until the world exploded at the thought of Cody not being there. And the Wrestling Observer newsletter has given us some details on when Cody found out, and it was shockingly close to a major moment.
It really was. So Cody was told he was facing Reigns in the fall. Now, he was not told about Rock getting the match until the day of the Rumble. He was also told that they would be going to Reigns against him later. So all the post-match stuff building up to that match, it wasn't there to swerve people as much as, you know, sort of build to a match further down the line between the two.
I love the idea of Triple H. Now if I was behind the scenes, right, I'd be nervous if just before I go out, Triple H goes, oh, one more thing. Because one thing we learned from that interview with Randy Orton was Triple H had a chat with him, made sure he was cool, ready for his match. They went, oh, one more thing, Punk's coming back in the main event.
Yeah.
And it's like Cody went to Cody and went, ready for the main event? Ready for winning the Rumble? Yeah, great. Oh, one more thing, you're not facing Reigns at Mania, but pretend you are.
And that must have been so soul crushing as well, because even in like all the lead up and the press and everything that he was doing, he was like, I feel like The Rock is not somebody to come back and take this spot from people. And he was even telling people like, I feel like the story has to finish at WrestleMania with how everything played out last year. I feel like this is the place to do it. And then obviously with the news that we got when he came out on SmackDown and was like, oh, you can have it instead, Rock. It was like, oh, what? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't really make sense, but they listened at least, which I'm glad they did.
Well, the original plan, as we learned last week, was that Cody was going to get battered by the Bloodline and The Rock was going to step in as the valiant hero of the hour. And that was how they were going to get there. Plans that Triple H ended up pushing back on. So as we were heading out of the Rumble, it was very closely guarded secret as to what Cody was doing. And the Seth Rollins stuff, where Seth was trying to convince him to come fight me for my world title, young Padawan, was all a bit of subterfuge. In terms of what Seth was going to be doing heading into WrestleMania, there was one man that he had on his radar, and that man was going to get there via the Chamber. Scrapped plans have been revealed in the Observer. No surprises. Go for it, Andrew.
So this comes from the Observer, and yes, they reveal that an obvious plan was set. I think something that a lot of us thought was going to happen, obviously, before injury played a part in things. And they say that at the time, Punk was going to win the Chamber match and face Rollins, which I feel like after his loss at the Royal Rumble, that felt like the next sort of... what's the word?
Logical
step. That's the word I'm looking for. The next logical step.
Scooter, the logical song step. It did, and it doesn't come as a surprise to go, oh, they were going to send Punk over to win the men's chamber, and onwards we go. But in a company that's prone to twists and turns, it wasn't set in stone that Punk was going to do that. They could have gone 400 different ways, but it turns out the plan was they were going to go the path of least resistance and go straight to having Punk win the chamber. So gutted for the fans in Perth both who aren't getting to see CM Punk perform, but they're getting a great card on Saturday anyway that Andrew and Adam will be watching.
Really looking forward to it. Get yourselves over to youtube.com/cultaholic/live at 9 a.m. GMT.
Dynamite.
Sorry. That will be where the pre-show kicks off, and then at 10 a.m. that's when the big show kicks off. Not the big show.
What?
Not that one. No.
The big show's here.
The main card kicks off, and we'll be drinking shoeies. Who knows? Maybe shoeies, perhaps. We've got a lot of
have
Coronas.
to do some shoeies.
You saw the Coronas in the fridge, right?
Certainly did.
Was a lion in the other news video?
You were not lying, nor were you a tiger. There was enough Coronas in there to sink the rhythm of the night. There was a lot in there. I think you should do some shoeies.
Well, we'll see what happens. You'll have to be there and find out
what happened at Elimination Chamber with Jack the Jobber, and the WTF moments from the Elimination Chamber with Ross coming up over the weekend as well. And for the very latest wrestling news throughout the weekend, you can check out cultaholic.com. Keys.
Love you. Bye.